friends, Lori here. I know I haven't been doing top 10 Tuesdays and top 5 Wednesdays recently, but I'm going to try to pre-film a bunch because the month of May is just really, really busy. I totally planned it that way, but I just have a lot of stuff going on that month, so I'm going to try to pre-film as much as I can. And normally these topics are out pretty far in advance, so I can hopefully at least get the top 5 Wednesdays done. But this week we are chatting about rainy day reads. And the way I've decided to break this video down is that I'm going to tell you the genres I tend to gravitate towards and why, and then the top 5 books that I have that are in those genres that are on my table right now. So in Long Island, in New York, it rains a lot in the month of March and April. Sometimes we even get snow, but we have not had a really snowy year, which has been excellent for my commuting because I commute to the city every single day because I'm a theater teacher in Astoria, Queens. Um, so I've had a lot of reading time, but not a lot of bike riding time because we've actually have had a lot of rain. And this is just like generally what I've been doing is I've been reading really, really fast reads, and on rainy days I tend to like to do that because it's just something that is captivating and I tend to like read a lot of, or like I just want to keep reading. So the genres that I tend to gravitate towards is graphic novels, thrillers, and romance, like contemporary books, because they tend to be a little bit on the shorter side and they tend to just be a little bit more fast paced. So those are the genres that I tend to read when it's rainy or when I have like just lazy time to just like kind of like lay around and read. That's kind of the books I tend to gravitate towards. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the top 5 books that are currently on my TBR right now. And one of the thrillers that is currently on my TBR is Lovely and the Lost by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And this is a thriller. And I love Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I loved both her previous series. Um, and I think this book is about like Kira Bennett's earliest memories are living alone in the wild in the woods. She has no idea how long she was on her own or what she can do to survive, but she remembers the moment Katie Bennett and one of hers found her. Then she was adopted years later, but she excels at the family business search and rescue. Along with Carrie's son June, their neighbors, Kira works to train the world's most elite search and rescue dogs. Someday, all three hope to put their skills to use, finding the lost and bringing them home. When Katie's estranged father, the enigmatic Bales, tracks his daughter down and asks for help in locating a missing child, the teens find themselves on the front lines sooner than they would have ever expected. As the search through 75 acres of unbridled wilderness intensifies, Kira becomes obsessed with finding the missing child. She knows all too well what it's like to be lost in the wilderness, fighting survival alone. But this case isn't simple. There is more afoot than a simple missing girl, and Kira's memories starting to overwhelm her at every turn. As the danger mounts and one kept come to light, Kira is forced to question everything she thought she knew about her adopted family, her true nature, and her past. That sounds incredible. I love Jennifer Lynn Barnes' writing so much. If you have not checked out her Natural series, I highly recommend it. I also loved what the hell is it called? I can't. These Little White Lies. I did enjoy that, but I loved her oh, what's it called? It's called the Fixer series, which did not get a third book. But oh my god, this sounds so incredible. I like want to pick this book up right now. I just got this last week, so oh my god, and it comes out in May, so hopefully I will get to tackle it soon. But yeah, I tend to read a lot of fast-paced thrillers like that because it just keeps my attention and I just keep on wanting to read. The next genre that I am going to chat about is graphic novels, and I have recently become a fan of graphic novels. I read The Prince and the Dressmaker early this year and I flew through it. So since then I've been like accumulating a few other ones, and this one I got recently, which is In Real Life by Jen Wang, who wrote The Prince and the Dressmaker, and her drawing style is just incredible, and I really had no idea what this was about. But when I saw her name I just had to pick it up, and I think it's about like I think it's about like being like online friendship, I think. And I also, when I was at New York City Comic Con, I also picked up Check Please, which is basically like an online comic about a guy that is I may be a former junior figure skater, blogger, extraordinaire, and very talented amateur pitcher, but being a freshman at Samuel University hockey team is a whole new challenge. It's nothing like co-ed back in Georgia. First of all, there's checking, and then there's Jack. You see the problem. And she was so nice and she drew him. So I really hope to read this. These books I tend to read super fast. I could probably bang through this in like a day. But yeah, so this is another genre that I tend to gravitate towards when it's raining because I just flip through it. And as always, Contemporaries is a read that I tend to read a lot during the summer, but also rainy day weather because, again, it's like a little bit fast paced. And the next two books are ones that are on my TBR, and That's Not What I Heard by Stephanie Kate Strom. This is kind of just like a fun read, and it's kind of like um, it's just kind of like high school drama. But I tend to read these books super fast and I tend to just really enjoy them. And I actually met her recently, so I have this and I have to give it to someone in my school, so maybe I'll get to read it fast. And I am forever trying to finish the Casey West canon. So On the Fence has been on my shelf for a while. And this is about a girl named Charlotte. And she ends up falling for the boy next door, which I've heard really good things about. But yeah, so in general, I tend to read thrillers, graphic novels, and romance contemporaries when it is rainy. Let me know if you agree or what are some genres you tend to gravitate towards when it's raining in your neck of the woods. And I will talk to you next week for another video. Bye.